How many of those did you get? Well, my friends, we did it again. Yes, we got another gorgeous delivery of shrubs and perennials and trees here at Creekside Nursery in Dallas, North Carolina, a Zone 8A. I told you this last week. I know it's August, but we are already dreaming and planning for the fall. And this Saturday, August the 15th at 10 a.m., this is our free workshop Saturday. You are in for a treat. This is when we go up to Mimi's Butterfly Garden and you can learn all about how to create a sustainable butterfly garden that supports a variety of butterflies. Of course, she is a Monarch way station. So she had a Monarch on her in her garden a couple of days ago. So fingers crossed that we will have some caterpillars for you to see this Saturday. Totally free, but we will have, I think Silverback Donuts is gonna be here. So get here, I say like 9:30 at around the latest. Grab you some donuts, wear comfy shoes. You're gonna walk up to Mimi's garden. Mimi and Cece are going to lead this workshop because they are the resident experts of all things butterfly garden related. And we have got some amazing plants that help support. So you're gonna learn all about the butterflies, how you can support them in your garden. It is so easy, so beautiful, so fun. And then you can come back and get plants that Cece and Mimi specifically recommend because that is what we shopped for. So we've got all those goodies in here that we're gonna go through, and you know me, I've got some plants that are going to go in my garden projects this fall. So our team is working just amazingly. They're getting barcodes right now. So that's what they're doing. So I think we're just going to kind of walk. Let's first focus on those plants specifically for the pollinators. So we have an aster. So we actually have two different types of aster. This first one is the New York aster. It is alert. And alert is going to give us beautiful pink flowers. Now, the reason that you want asters is because they are going to give you great late summer, early fall color. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but there are buds all over these plants. These are 1 gallons, beautiful. This is what's going to feed the adult butterflies. They are going to flock to these plants with these beautiful pink flowers. It's going to be about 12 to 15 inches tall. Of course, full sun. With your pollinator garden, they love the full sun because your butterflies, for lack of a better word, they're cold-blooded. They cannot produce their own body heat, so that's why they love going to the sun. The sun warms them up. The sun gives them energy. So think of full sun, that means 6 hours or more of sun. So all of these pollinator plants are really going to prefer those sunnier conditions. So we've got alert, 12 to 15 inches tall, and that beautiful, really pink flower. Then we've got another aster over here. This is going to be purple dome. So purple dome has a completely different look to it as far as both the leaf and obviously your flower, right? So you've got that really kind of open, frilly, nice purple with that yellow center, and purple dome is going to be also covered in flowers, 18 inches tall, hardy in zones 3 to 8. Now, typically, these plants are going to be more resistant to the rabbits and the deer because a lot of these are going to be native plants. Like you have the Gaillardia. So we've got the Arizona sun over here. These are all going to be supporting those adult butterfly populations. Look at this, y'all. I love Gaillardia. You want to talk about a low maintenance, easy plant, a perennial that continuously blooms. So we've told this story before. So it was about this time last year, Jerry and I went, we were celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary. We went out to see the Grand Tetons, and so, you know, cold, mountains, Wyoming, and they had Gaillardia growing, gorgeous. We go to the beach in South Carolina, pure sand dunes, Gaillardia growing wild. So if it can take those extremes, it certainly does really well here in North Carolina. Great food source for those adult butterflies. So we've got that. Then to support the monarch caterpillars, we have got the milkweed. So this is going to be just that classic, oh, the tag's stuck in there. This is the tuberosa, right? So this has got those beautiful orange flowers on it. This is going to attract the monarch. She is going to smell them. She is going to seek it out, and she is going to lay her eggs on this milkweed. Milkweed, of course, is the only food source for your monarch butterflies. So once she lays the eggs, then the little caterpillars will hatch and they will absolutely eat up these plants. So you need to have a food source for the adults with your asters and your gaillardia. We've got Coreopsis over here. We've got a couple different cubs, Coreopsis. We've got Rudbeckia. We've got the baby Joe pieweed over there. All of those are to support the adults, while the milkweed is for the babies. And so these are beautiful plants in 1 gallons, so those are available. But like I said, you've got the Coreopsis moonbeam, which is a beautiful, soft yellow bloom on it. Great perennial, again, continuous blooming. These have been trimmed just a little bit, but they are flushing out and have buds all over them. Then, of course, Rudbeckia, nice, tough, hardy perennial, covered in these beautiful, bright, cheery yellow flowers. We'll get a little bit of height to them. And then the baby Joe pieweed. So baby Joe is going to be a more petite version than the traditional Joe pieweed that I have growing along the creek bank. And this is going to be another great food source for not only the monarchs, but all of your pollinators and butterflies. And in fact, I've got a couple of these that we're going to grab because they're going to go over at the pond. We've been talking about that, the pond, how we're going to start planting that. So baby Joe going over there. I have some in the corner of the signature garden along the dry creek bed. Oh my gosh, it is loving life right now with all this rain we've been having. So baby Joe, it'll be basically in that 3-foot range, right? So the Joe pieweed that I have on the creek bank down there, it can get like 6 or 7 feet. This is nice and petite, still give you those beautiful flowers, hardy, perennial, does great, loves those damper conditions. And then we got in a beautiful crop of some more butterfly candy. So we had the little raspberry, the little grape. Again, this is for those adults. And once those caterpillars hatch and they have come out of their chrysalis and there are those beautiful butterflies, they need a food source. So we've got to have both food for the babies and for the the adults. And like I said, all kinds of pollinators love your buddleia. I mean, they just come to it like crazy. Monarda, another great native perennial. This is the Pardon My Lavender 2. You get these beautiful, nice lavender flowers on it. This is going to be about 18 inches tall, so it's not crazy tall. And so nice, compact. Again, it tends to be more deer rabbit resistant. Has a really nice minty smell to it. Lovely. And then we have got a red Coreopsis. So if red is more your jam, we have got those as well. They had been pruned. You can do that to Coreopsis, but it's got buds all over it and it's going to bounce back beautifully. So we've got those. And then over here next to Brittany, we've got mountain mint. And so mountain mint is just a phenomenal native perennial. Now, right now, she's not looking like a huge thing. She's got buds all over her, but your mountain mint is in the mint family. It will naturalize. It's not going to run and be crazy like the culinary mint, but this is a great plant to support a huge host of pollinators, from bumblebees, honeybees, beneficial, predatory, wasp, your butterflies, you name it, they love the mountain mint. Mountain mint is going to be about 2 to 3 feet tall. It will be covered in these white to pinkish flowers. The foliage will turn like a little silvery color. Absolutely amazing. Mimi has it in her garden. Cece has it. And they're like, when you stand beside the plant when it's in bloom, it's literally buzzing. There are pollinators all over it. So if you're looking for a native perennial that supports your pollinator population, Mountain Mint is going to be the one for sure. Okay, so I think that kind of carries and takes care of those perennials that truly, really support the pollinators, the butterflies in our gardens. Now moving on to some other fun things that we got. We got, thinking about the pond renovation, we got the perennial maidenhair ferns. Now your maidenhairs, they are more delicate. They love shady, damp conditions. This is not one that you want to let dry out, okay? This is not drought tolerant. It needs that consistent moisture, so I will put it really close to the water's edge, really close to like the holly tree where the mouth of the spring is, that stays in constant shade. Beautiful, light, airy habit to it. So these are the perennial maidenhair ferns. And then y'all look at this. This is a trailing tiarella. It is the coolest thing ever. This is running tapestry. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Great ground cover for the shade. Of course, you can put it in a container if you want to, and let it trail. Beautiful. Of course, your tiarellas, they are going to be evergreen for us here in North Carolina. So you're going to keep that color, have it as a ground cover. Gorgeous, gorgeous plant, full size, 1 gallon. Also thinking for my shade people, let's go over here right quick. We got some more of the spectacular Aspidistra. This is a great option for my friends who have dry shade. You don't have irrigation. You want that evergreen color in your garden. Well, your spectacular cast iron plant is going to be the one for you. It looks like somebody has taken some Clorox and splattered it. Clorox or paint, however you want to look at it, right? So it literally has specks all over it. Nice, beautiful habit. I love that the stems have a nice, really rich purple look to them. These are evergreen. They are deer rabbit resistant. So as you know, Mimi is a huge fan of the cast iron plants because of her dry shade garden. Great option for you. I have some already on the woodland garden there behind the pond. Could be adding some more of those as well. Then a hydrangea. Now y'all, okay, remember how we've talked about how a lot of times I get some great recommendations from you guys. So years ago, I mean years, when we first started doing videos, so that would have been like 6 or 7 years ago now at this point, close to 7 years. I had this sweet gentleman call me from Georgia. So that was when my personal cell phone was the business phone. And so he called me and he was so kind and so sweet. And he told me, if you ever see Penny Mac hydrangeas, get them. They do great here in the South. And I was like, got it. So almost right after I talked with him, I saw golden Penny Macs come up. And I was like, ding, 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 I need this hydrangea. Now, I think these have probably been grown under a little bit of cover, so they're not as electric as they will be. I have 5 or 6 of them underneath my crepe myrtles at the house. And when I say they are chartreuse, they are chartreuse. So this is gonna need more sun than what we think of as a macrophylla, right? But gives us that beautiful chartreuse color. And then the flowers, they are pH dependent. So mine tend to be more blue because they are acidic. These are pink in the nursery pot. So if you have a shady area and you want a beautiful chartreuse hydrangea that gives the classic macrophylla mop head blooms, then you want this golden penny. Y'all, they've got buds all over them, so they're going to continue to just keep on blooming. Love the golden pennies. You definitely need these. So I bought these for y'all because they are just amazing. Now, maybe I'll stick 1 or 2 over there in the gardens, but primarily I was like, my people need these hydrangeas, so I got them for you. So golden pennies. Now, over here, however, this is for you and for me. You know I'm a huge fan of osmanthus, the sweet olives, right? A tea olive, depends on where you live as to what you call it. So this is Noble Lady. So Noble Lady is going to give us really cool new foliage. It comes out pink, it turns white, and it has really, really fragrant flowers on it, because if you're gonna have a tea olive, you gotta have the flowers that smell good. So these are 7 gallons. These are beautiful plants. They're already probably about 3 to 4 feet tall already in their containers. That does not include the container. So I am going to grab probably about, I think I said like 3 of these. We're going to put them up at the gate bed when we do that renovation this fall. So they're going to go up there as like a nice screen. That's why we love the tea olives, because they are fast growing. They smell insane. This is going to have beautiful foliage on it. It grows as a great privacy screen. You can have it as a specimen plant. It's so versatile. It responds really well to being pruned once a year. Amazing, amazing plant. So the Noble Lady tea olive in a 7-gallon plant. You're gonna want to get these, let me tell you. Oh, okay, here we go. Going next. The 3 magnolias, y'all. Those are the tall plants right there, the trees right behind the osmanthus. I got 1 for me and I got 2 for y'all. So y'all gonna have to fuss over them. It's first come, first serve, or whoever calls with the credit card first is gonna get these. You know how we have Jane Magnolia? So Jane, there's like the whole, it's called the Little Girl series. And so the National Arboretum developed these plants years ago. So this is going to be a deciduous magnolia that blooms in late winter, early spring, right? So when you're driving down and you see this tree that has like these big, huge pink saucer cups on it, that's that magnolia, okay? So there's like Jane, there's Anne, there's a couple of them. Well, this, my friends, is Yellowbird. So guess what color the flower is? It is yellow. I am so excited about this. So again, one of the Yellowbirds is going to be mine. It is going to go yet again up there. I'm calling it the honeybee bed because there's a honeybee hive up there. Up at the honeybee bed is coming in. It is going to be gorgeous. So these are 15 gallons and they are already a good 6 feet tall already. So these are going to be fast growers. They're beautiful, deciduous. Who cares? Because in the spring, yellow flowers covering it. Yes, please. Love this. We got more El Niños, of course, because y'all can't get enough of the El Niño Chatalpa. So these are beautiful. We've got some that are flowering. Rumor has it on the street that they smell delicious. I cannot smell them. My nose is broken, I guess, but they smell great. Fast grower, do really well here in the South. They love the heat and the humidity, doing great. And then look at those incredible blush hydrangeas. Are they not beautiful? So of course, incredible blush is going to be that smooth arborescent hydrangea, color specific, so it does not matter what your soil's pH is. It's going to be that beautiful blushy pink. These are beautiful plants. The foliage is amazing. Of course, these are 3 gallons. And so typically this is not when they bloom, but what happened is they will bloom in late spring, early summer. So they bloomed, they trimmed them, and then they have flushed out again because they bloom on new growth. So we have got those guys, and we have got, first time ever that we have seen them, the little lime punch trees, right? So these are the standards. It is little lime punch. This would make a great accent in a flower bed. Put it in a really large container. The possibilities are endless. Put it on the corner of your house, however you want to do it. But little lime punch standards, there you go, my friends. You're going to love that. And then as we walk into the depths of all the plants, we have got 2 Muhly grasses. So we have got White Cloud, which is here on the front, and then Heriberto is working on the Undaunted, which is going to be a shorter pink. So you have got the white Muhly grass, and then you have got the Undaunted, which is a lovely pink. This is that grass that when you are driving along the highway here in the South, and you see where the landscaping that the state has done on the side of the road, or you'll see these in commercial properties along, like right close to parking lots and sidewalks and all of that. And in the fall, it's that beautiful like cotton candy pink or white. That's your Muhly grass. The reason that they put those in those kinds of conditions is because, y'all, this is a tough perennial. It loves it dry. It wants to be neglected. It takes those tough conditions. But in the fall, you get those gorgeous cotton candy plumes. So we have the white and we have the pink. Speaking of candy, sweet treats, I guess, roll with me here, people. We have got candy corn spirea. Look how beautiful those are. So candy corn spirea, again, we cannot keep these in stock. These are beautiful 3 gallons. Of course, these are spring bloomers. They are deciduous. People don't care because you get this gorgeous color on them. Of course, it gets its name candy corn because it has that variegation. It looks like a little piece of candy corn candy that we see in the fall. Beautiful 3 gallons. Love those. And very excited with the last 2. One, brand new introduction this year. It is the Sugar Shack 2.0. That's right, my friends. So Sugar Shack, of course, is a native shrub. It is a buttonbush. It loves damp conditions. It is deciduous. But what it does is it will put on in early summer. This is an old one, okay? So it does that, quote, bloom, where it's the little ball and all the little white flowers coming off of it. And then in the fall, those little balls turn into bright red little spheres, shall we say. So here we go on the back. Can you see that? Yes, very cool. Now, Sugar Shack, the original, can get really big. 2.0, 3 to 4 feet tall and wide. So a much more controlled size to it. It is hardy in zones 4 to 10, my friends. So like I said, native shrub. Definitely would be grabbing at least one of these, if not a couple, to use around the pond because it loves those damp conditions and it absolutely can grow in moist conditions. So if you have a spot where your garden drains. When it rains, that's where all the water goes. Or your irrigation, for whatever reason, it just pools up right there. You got a pond, you got a creek, you got a stream. These are going to be great ones to put there. So very excited about 2.0. It's going to be really fun to have that over there at the pond. And then, look at this. That's right, my friends. We got the Chameleon Schizachyrium. This is the grass that we have at our house that y'all go nuts over. Every time I post a picture of the front yard renovation that we did this time last year, you're like, what is that grass? Well, that is chameleon, or as my sweet Mexican friend said, chamelon, something like that. Yes, so it sounds completely different. I'm butchering it now. I need Roberto to say it for me. Y'all, this is a great Schizachyrium. It is called chameleon because it changes color. So through the summer, basically it's going to be that green and that white. Then as the temperatures change, it will take on more of the pinky purple hues. Absolutely beautiful. You can see it's starting to send up some plumes. So it will go ahead and have beautiful plumes to it. Oh my gosh, these are beautiful 1 gallons, so very manageable. Add them to your garden now. You absolutely can because Schizachyrium performs really well here in the South. So this is one of those grasses. If you see a Schizachyrium, just know that that is going to perform really well in the South along with like penstemons. So like the Niagara Falls that we got in the last delivery. Penstemons, Schizachyriums, Muhly grasses do really well in the heat and the humidity. Plant them now because this is when they're most active. The grasses you typically do not want to plant in the colder months, like going into winter down here. No, you don't. You either want to plant it when it's hot or going into the heat. So now is the perfect time to do it. The chameleon grass, like all your grasses, it is going to quote die back when the first freeze comes. So it will turn brown. I left mine with that old foliage for quite most of the winter because it was nice interest, and so you can get like little birds that will go in there, protection, your beneficial insects, whatever, and then in late winter, early spring, you just want to cut it all back and all that new growth comes out. So love this gorgeous plant. So many stinking good plants, y'all. I know it is August, but you absolutely can be planning and dreaming and purchasing your plants because, for example, that Sugar Shack 2.0, first time we had seen it on availability. The Chameleon Grass, first time we had seen it this season. Same thing with the Muhly grass. So if you're thinking about it, then you need to go ahead and grab it. If you want to plant it, go ahead and plant it. You're just going to have to watch the water. But if not, just go ahead and put it in your stash. That's what I'm doing. And then, of course, with the pollinators, oh my gosh, for some reason here in North Carolina, we always get the biggest population of our monarchs in the late summer, early fall. We get that last generation before they head to Mexico. So we've got to feed them. We've got to give them a food source. So just think of that. Add them. If you don't want to add it to the landscape, put it in a pot, right? Put it in a pretty pot. The asters, they would be gorgeous as a fall perennial flowering plant for you in a container, and then they are absolutely going to have pollinators all over them. So just some fun things. There's always new fun plants to add to the garden. You know, if a plant dies, oh well, then that's just an opportunity to plant one of these guys in there, right? Because if you're not killing plants, you're not gardening hard enough. That's what I say. At least that's what I say to make myself feel better, right? When something dies. So lots of things here happening for you. So come see us Wednesday through Saturdays at 9 to 3. Hope to see you on Saturday for the butterfly workshop. Like I said, wear your comfy shoes, bring your sun hat because you're going to be out in the full sun. And we'll have the silverback donuts, and I think we have a lunch truck coming as well. So we hope to see you then. As always, free, just come. You don't have to sign up. Y'all have an amazing day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.